Hey, what's going on, everyone? Steve here at the TheDjLab. Hopefully, microphone is good. So, what am I going to talk about here? I guess the one thing I want to talk about, perhaps, is the whole tariffs here in Canada. And, well, the tariffs are going to happen on China as well. And, just all of this tariff stuff. Big question people have been asking me is, will the DJ gear go up in price? I'm not really sure. So the only thing I do know actually is that the Denon DJ stuff, like anything from A Music, Newmark, Denon DJ, the Ring products, um, they don't come from China, and the tariffs aren't going to have any effect on stuff. Things might they might go up a little tiny bit, but nothing to write home about. No real big deal. What's going on, Jamie? So tariffs won't affect them. Um, Now, anything made by AlphaTheta Pioneer DJ is generally from, I think where is it? Malaysia? Is it Malaysia? I think it's where some of the stuff comes from. I should look at some of my boxes. I think Malaysia. So I don't think it's going to have an effect on that, but there's some other products. There's lights, for instance, some headphones. There's other things that DJs use that obviously the prices might change. Computers, there's a number of things that might change for DJs. Not directly our main gear, but some stuff. And that brings up another good question. If you have used gear, I'm going to say maybe you might want to hold off selling it. Let's wait till the tariffs happen because used gear might jump up in price. There might be more demand for used stuff. It's possible. So if you don't need to sell your used stuff, I wouldn't jump on that. I would hold off. And DJ Norm, no, I don't think the only DJ stuff. It's a good question. The only DJ stuff that we deal with, that we care about, that's made in America, would be like 12-inch skins. I haven't talked to 12-inch skins to ask how that's going to affect things because, like, right now, it depends on what Canada does, as an example. So the tariffs are on Canadian goods coming in. Now, it depends on how Canada responds. If Canada says, well, you know what? Guess what? We're going to put tariffs on everything coming into our country. Well, that's when all of a sudden I would be affected and anyone in the States. So as it stands right now, if you're an American and you make stuff and you're sending it to Canada, it's not fucking you guys at all. Because right now, we haven't said anything. We haven't said, oh, there's going to be tariffs on shit come from the States to us. Because truth is, it's stupid. You know what I mean? Doesn't make any sense. And we'll see how it plays out. The guy could be just talking a bunch of shit. Because I'm telling you, if I was Canada, you know what I would say to the guy? I would tell him, as he's talking about the whole 51st state, like, how they should, like, basically what he's saying is, if you can't cut it on your own, if you consistently need our military and you need our money and you need us that badly, then fuck it. Maybe you should just join us. And you know what? In the grand scheme of logically, that does sound fucking kind of right. But we don't want to fucking do like the Americans do. There's some fucking strange laws that these guys have. They have no health care. Their education system, it's good for some, but not good for all. You know what I mean? So you look at the grand scale of things, and if you open things up, we don't want a bunch of fucking Americans, and I don't want to say Americans, but there's definitely a whole bunch of people in the States that we might not want to live beside. You know what I mean? Honestly, we don't want them in our fucking neighborhood. You don't want them in your neighborhood either. So before I would say join US, I would tell the Canadian government, why don't you tell Trump we'll fucking become part of China? How would you like that, motherfucker? How would you like to have China on your fucking border? You got such a beef with the guy on the other side of the world. What if he was on your fucking border and we just became part of China? We were part of the Chinese Republic. We got a lot of Chinese people here in Canada, you know what I mean? So, or fuck it, we got a lot of Indians too. Why don't we just become part of India? Like, before we're going to join the States, there's a lot of other countries out there that are big with a lot of fucking money behind them. We don't necessarily need to join up with you guys. How about we join up with one of the people that you don't like very much and have them as a neighbor? And you see, we don't need to join. We really don't need to join. We've been working together all this time. And they talk about the, our military. So our military isn't funded as well as it should be. There's reports saying that half the equipment that we have is unserviceable and not fucking working. And if we were called into action, that we don't really have enough shit together to really be helpful. And he's saying, like, how we take advantage of the Americans and, their military. That if something happened, we'd rely on them. Well, you know what? Nobody has tried to invade Canada since the Americans. You guys were the only ones trying to fucking invade Canada back in the, what is it, the War of 1812? I think it is. I'm not a history guy, but I'm pretty sure it's like the War of 1812 is when the fucking United States tried to come on in. And guess what? It didn't work then. It didn't fucking work. So the only people we need to worry about invading our country is the Americans. Like, when I say the Americans, that's funny because I'm North American. Canada is North American. So America, it's fucking strange how these guys refer to themselves as America. Yeah, Norm, I'm wondering too, why isn't Charles saying shit? Because you know what? The truth is, we should tell the British monarchy to go fuck themselves too. There's absolutely no reason why I should pledge allegiance to the fucking queen and have, or the king now, have them on our money. Like, our dollar is completely independent. It's not based on the British pound. You know what I mean? So, why? What's the point? There's absolutely no good reason that we should have any fucking connection to the British Empire because you know what? They're not doing shit for us. This motherfucker won't even jump on the microphone and say, hey, call up Trump and say, yo, fuck you. At least, did you see that shit in the, I think it was the UN Assembly. And I forget who it was from Denmark. I don't know if it was who it was, their politician, that stood up and said, hey, listen, Greenland's been part of Denmark for 800 years. It's part of our culture, our society. Like, it's not for sale. And then it was being all polite. And then said, Mr. Trump, in words that you might understand, fuck off. Brilliant, man. That was the funniest shit. They got in shit for it. You know what I mean? They got in trouble for saying that. But you could make a more clear message to this guy. He's a New Yorker. And if you're talking to a New Yorker, you don't need to get all fancy and then dance around circles. A straight fuck off is pretty much what they're going to understand. So yeah, Trump, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, be lucky somehow you managed to get elected. Be fucking lucky. Lucky that the United States of America is full of fucking, uneducated rednecks. And you guys can say what you want, but the guy got elected in. So, what does that tell you? Right? No educated person that's not racist would bring this guy on board. And, you might disagree with me on that, but I'm just, from a Canadian, and my only knowledge of anything is I watch CNN and I watch Fox. And it's like night and day versions of what the fuck's going on down there. And I assume in the middle somewhere, there's a little bit of truth, perhaps. Because both news stations, I think, are full of shit. I think all media, here in Canada too, the media is just a bunch of bullshit motherfuckers. They're not trying to tell you the news. They're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you some kind of shit. By the way, is my mic sounding okay? I always feel like this microphone sounds fucking wrong. I have noise suppression turned on in OBS, and I don't know if maybe that's a bad idea. After all these streams, I'm starting to worry about my goddamn microphone right now. You know what I haven't done? I haven't done the punch-in. That's the punch-in on my stream deck, where I can punch it in, or I can punch it out, and punch it in, punch it out. And I don't know why. My Sony a7 IV, I don't understand why over USB I can't get fucking 4K out of this thing. Well, I know, like, I can't get 4K, but I can't get 60 frames a second out of the USB. I don't know if it's because of the USB port or if it's the cable. I need to figure this out. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of doing? I have a Samsung The Frame TV that's like anti-reflective, looks like artwork. It's a 65-inch. And I can't really afford to do this, but I can and I can't. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. But that TV in Canada, the 75-inch version, is $3,500. There's the Indian guys that you can get deals from. I can get for $2,400. But then there's a refurbished place that has it for $1,500. So I'm thinking about buying the 75-inch TV, and maybe where that light is back there on that wall, I might put the 75-inch TV back there and use it like a backdrop for visuals and shit. I don't know. I've always thought, man, if I could get another one of these TVs to do that shit with, and this is such a good price. What's going on, Tony Starks? The tariffs will make everything go up. Well, no. That's a little bit of propaganda. Not everything. I talked to the guys at in music. They're saying no. You know, a lot of people don't really understand tariffs. They naturally assume it's going to jack the price up for you. Meanwhile, not really. It happens in the middle. The company, they eat a little bit on their side. Everything gets eaten up. So on the consumer side of things, we might not see the big bad tariffs like you think. And they're going to put tariffs on China. A lot of shit that we have in the DJ world, like the main equipment that we use, is not made in China. So it's not a big fucking deal. Some of the lights, you know what I mean? There's going to be phones. There's going to be some things that are going to be hit. And once again, there's such huge markups that the companies will eat it. They're going to eat the shit. So I don't think we're going to have the big bad fucking tariffs anyways. I think it's going to be, should be the same. You know what? And everything goes up in price. Every year, shit goes up in price. So if things do go up in price, at least we'll have a reason. We don't have any good reasons. Like for us here in Canada, like our Bank of Canada interest rate actually went down a little bit. What's going on, Magic Man? So our interest rate has gone down because the anticipation of, what's going to happen. So good for me, because that AZ back there, I put up my line of credit. So it's going to cost me interest per month. And if the interest rate going down is fucking great. Now, if the interest rate jumps like a lunatic, And it's okay because I've got, if I had to pay that thing off tomorrow, I've got the cash to do it. It would just deplete my cash. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not paying that off. I'd rather pay 30 bucks a month interest. And if I keep it for another 3 months, let's say, and it costs me 90 bucks to have it here, and then I turn around and I sell it and I make a little bit of money on it, I still haven't decided if I'm going to keep the AZ or not. I like it, but it's the financial part. It would be much easier to sell the AZ than it's going to be to sell CDJ 3000s or sell a V10 or a Euphonia. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes when I sell gear, it's like when I sold the A9. Really, I wish I had sold the V10. But what was easier to sell? The A9 was newer and easier to sell. So yeah. What else we got going on here? Oh, check this out. Square of the day are these. These headphones, they come with a transmitter that you can plug auxiliary in, RCA in, digital in, and it's the transmitter is Bluetooth, right? So these headphones sell on Amazon for $140 Canadian, and I bought them in box with all the cables, like no wear on it whatsoever. And yeah, the book, the warranty card, everything for $5 fucking dollars. For $5 at a Value Village. You can look these things up, man, if you don't believe me. If you don't believe me, look that shit up. Oh, and by the way, the Samsung Frame TVs, they don't have that what you think. Like when you're on the angle looking at that TV, it looks exactly the same. You don't lose, nothing washes out. Magic Man, thanks, buddy. $5 from New Zealand, that must be like what? $190 Canadian? I don't even know. I don't know what the math works out to. Um, oh, there it is right there. Shit, your dollar's not worth fuck all here. Oh, these headphones are called Avant Tree. AVANTREE. And so there's like a transmitter. I'm not going to grab the transmitter. But the transmitter has a little antenna on it. It can, I think you can actually, the idea is you can Bluetooth to the transmitter and then through here and have like multiple channels of things. So you can have multiple devices hooked up to one thing rather than trying to Bluetooth to everything. They're pretty good. So yeah, that worked out to $2.83 Canadian, which is, hey man, I'm I'm always cool with a couple of bucks. The whole plan of this channel was to have people donate small amounts. Lots of people, small amounts. I appreciate when I get big amounts, but it bothers me. I hate to see 2, 3, 4 people carrying the weight of everybody. You know what I mean? So I much rather, when people do super chats, it's cool. Also subscriptions. The subscriptions, $2 a month on my channel, I think is more than fair. Because truth is, the amount of money I have tied up into everything here, and I keep putting more money to try to improve the channel, make it more interesting, change things around. It's not much. You know what I mean? Like if I saw a channel that I was like really down for, that I watched all the time, I would gladly give $2 a month. I spend $20 a month on Netflix. You know what I mean? I spend another, what was it, almost, I paid $26 a month for fucking my Xbox Game Pass, which I barely play. I play Fortnite. I don't even use Game Pass, but I pay it. And what does a coffee cost in Canada? Depends on where you go. But you're talking in the size, but let's say around $2. $2 is about the mark. Two something. So that literally what you sent me. 283 gets me like a big coffee at like a nicer place, let's say. I don't know. If I went to Starbucks, I think a coffee would cost like $3. You know, in some places, man, a bottle of water would cost me almost $3. Like if you go to like a food court, you know, in a mall, they always fucking they stick it to you. They always stick it to you on the water. You go to like Subway sandwich place, they'll fucking jam you on the bottle of water every fucking time. You know, walk to a convenience store, you can buy a bottle of water for $1 or $2. Oh, you know what else is funny? When I was doing my streams with this fucking thing, right? There was people that were on the stream that literally didn't realize that this was connected as a headphone. And people were commenting that like I'm on the phone with my mom. That they thought I was on the phone. The bat phone, man. Everybody thought I was just fucking yapping on the phone. Meanwhile, I'm DJing with this fucking thing. Pretty funny. So back to the main question. I don't think tariffs are going to go make DJ gear go up. I think we're going to be fine. I still do believe if you're selling used equipment, stop it. Hold off and wait it out for another month and see, because I think the used market might go up. I've got the VM80s. And they're too much. Like in an apartment, in like a bachelor apartment, these things are way too much. And funny story about them. The only reason I actually have them is I bought a Flex 4 from the distributor, right? So I get a deal. And I get the Flex 4 and it's fucked. It's fucked out the box. One of the knobs is fucking wonky. They don't have another one. And so when you buy from the distributor, these guys are scammy fucks, man. They won't even give you your money back. Like if you buy, like even if you're a store and you got to return something, you have a credit. So once they have your money, they'll never give it back to you. They just hold on to it, collect interest. Doesn't matter. They don't give you any interest. They just hold your fucking money, right? So I had a credit with them, and I was using like Mission speakers with like a Techniques fucking AV receiver amp fucking thing. And it sounded good. It sounded great. I had no good reason to fucking change anything. I had the little 8-inch fucking Missions. I forget what model they were, but they were good ones. I bought cheap. They had front facing ports. They have them in front of me. Everyone that came over was like, man, these things fucking pound. Like they sounded really good. And then I thought, let me get some proper DJ monitors. So because I had the credit, I put a couple more bucks in and I bought these things because I get 30% off. And that rear port, like when you put them in the club mode, that's fucking ridiculous. That is like way too much bass. It doesn't make sense. So when you put them as flat as you can with the bass down low, you set them all up and still they're boomy, man. That rear port is just very fucking boomy. And these speaker manufacturers, I swear to God, these guys don't know fucking anything about making speakers. The ports on the inside, if you take this speaker out, they just got they got this fucking shit just stuffed in there. It's literally, You know, I used to design speakers, car audio shit, man. I used to design fucking bandpass boxes and shit. And let me tell you, you take apart any fucking speaker, you can buy some expensive shit. And if that port, if the bass port looks like PCV pipe just cut in half with like a square edge, that's horrible. The wind goes, the air goes over that edge and makes a fucking noise. So when you hear your speakers farting away, it's not because the fucking cone's extending too far. A lot of times it's literally the port. When I used to make speaker like bandpass boxes and the ports and shit, they were all rounded, man. I would sand these things down. They were rounded. And all these guys, man, all of them, these speakers for the price of them, I don't fucking understand. So you know what I did? I made it better. If you got VM70s, I should make a video on this. The best goddamn thing you can do with that speaker is take a fucking old t-shirt, something that you can stuff in that fucking hole and seal it right up and make them a sealed box. They still got bass, they got more punch to them, they sound better. They actually sound better. Even the guys at one of the engineer guys, I think he's still an engineer or he's part of product development. Was he product development? But anyways, you know Professor BX. Professor BX, we talked with this. He feels the same way, that they sound better as a sealed port because it was like the car audio days, man. You know, some people had nothing but bass in their cars. And that everyone's like, oh man, it's so much bass. Nah, you need a bit of everything. I want my overall sound. They're too fucking boomy. And especially when you're in an apartment and you got them in the corners with a bit of space and that all that air just blasted into the corners and just creating that boomy bass, like, I don't know. Maybe in a studio environment that's all sound treated, maybe those ports are better, but in my place, it was so fucking boomy. I had to plug those holes up. So yeah, that's my advice on the VM80s back there. If you can catch that motherfucker. See if I can punch it in a little bit. Oh, you know another fucking issue I'm having? Remember this guy here? The Pocket 3? I was using this like daily, like religiously, man, going like, fuck, I love this camera. I love this camera. I talked about this camera like a motherfucker. I did so many streams with it, and I was like, this is great. But I haven't used it in a while. Oh my God, that wasn't good. I haven't used it in a while. And like a lot of my fucking cameras I buy, man, they're all fucking fun and games in the beginning, and then they just kind of sit around. So let's go on Bunghole Camper. It's been a while, buddy. Um, Pocket 3 camera. It's number one. It's been way fucking cold here in Canada. That is not the camera to take out in the cold. It's just not worth it. And for doing streams at home, I have an A7 IV here. The picture quality is so fucking good. The Pocket 3 looked okay. It looks pretty good, but it doesn't look like this. You know what I mean? It doesn't have this look. So that's kind of how that's going. I want to look at something here on my end. I don't know if I can do what I think I'm trying to do here. is I don't know if anyone knows the answer to this. The Sony A7 IV, can it do 60 frames at 1080p? I thought it could. Yeah, I'll look, see if I can get into the menu here, if I can see what's going on here. I'm working behind the scenes here. Push on buttons. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I don't think I can go into the menu setting that I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't believe I can do the menu set I'm looking to do here. Yeah, Norm. Sealed, I think you know, a sealed box is going to give you a far more accurate sound. You're going to get the punch and everything else. When you start adding ports to things, bass ports just literally are giving you like simulated bass. That's what I think. I think it's a simulated bass. Oh, by the way, something else that I got to bring to you guys. I think what I'm going to do, and maybe tomorrow if I have time, instead of doing these, you know, mixes I've been doing every day, and the mixes have been really good for generating more subscribers and the views, you know what I mean? So the view count on the channel is looking really good because of this shit, but that doesn't generate money. You see, it's a little weird. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to do live streams and I want to do master classes. Let's go down DJ Fonzie. This camera that I'm using right here is a Sony A7 IV. Now, the only downfall of the camera, I got to say, of this whole system is that I didn't go bananas on the lens. Like, I have some expensive lenses. I had a really nice Sigma lens that was like $1,600. And but because I'm on a fixed thing, having like a zoom lens didn't make any sense. And so I had that Sigma lens and I was doing it was really fucking nice. I mean, the bulk and everything was good. This is a Samyang lens. This is a 35 millimeter lens, Samyang, and it's an f 2.0, or can go 1.8. I think it's 2.0. Can I do a different f stop? Let me see here. I forget now. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I got f2.0 there. So now when I do the 1.8, you'll notice that the background got a little blurrier, and obviously things got a little bit brighter, which means I could probably take the ISO. I'm at ISO 400. No, I think I was at maybe 8. I could take it down a little bit. And I only have, so lighting wise, you see some of these guys, they have some crazy expensive fucking lights. My lights I have, you might see in the reflection of my glasses, I have one ring light about this big up there. I have a long light over top. I have this camera rig system over my desk. So one's on the main pole across looking down. And then I have a bigger ring light to the right of me, and it's not on full blast either. So, you know, I don't like to have, some of these guys have these big lights, man. Giant fucking studio lights on them. And I can't do that. It blind me. Make me blind. So yeah, that whole f-stop thing is what gives it this, like, you know, depth of field and shit. But you know, but yeah, Fonzie, it's pretty clear. And one thing I don't know if you guys check or not is you got to make sure that you're watching me in 1080. I was going to start streaming in 4K. Doesn't make any sense to stream 4K because I'm not pumping 4K out of the camera as a webcam. Like if I record video on this thing and I upload it, obviously I can get 4K. But yeah, it's good. I'm pretty good with it. So, and on my by the way, on my 35mm lens, let me show you the difference here. So just to give someone a frame of reference, this camera, there's my arm, and there's me reaching forward. So I'm about like an almost 2 arms lengths, an arm and a half away from the camera, let's say, and that's 35mm. But if I, and that's in the crop sensor mode, right? So if I was using a crop lens. So this is the native resolution, like the native 35mm right here. So this is what 35mm looks like. And then on OBS, I have another scene where obviously I just literally stretched out a little bit to do that zoom. I'm just looking over at my thing to see the preview. So, and I generally, for talking head videos, some people like to have all this. I think this is good. But that's why I like to pop it there. I turn on the crop mode on the camera and I don't lose anything, right? Let's go on Castle of Music. Thanks, buddy. You know what? Like I like to play bass house. And you know, sometimes I'm fucking around and then I got a couple phone calls. I kind of cut things off and I don't make a playlist. I just kind of play as I go. So yeah, something else I want to ask you guys. And don't take this the wrong way, because I see some of you guys are in here consistently, right? And but the guys who are in here consistently, I don't necessarily see you as a member. So I'm just trying to figure out for myself is I can't believe for the life of me that $2 a month is stopping somebody. I think $2 a month is pretty goddamn cheap. You know what I mean? I could literally take $2. I could take $2 a day, to be honest. I'm not rich, but I could literally take $2 a day and throw it out my window. A toonie that we have here in Canada, $2 coin. I could throw that out the window every day of my life, and I don't think it would change my lifestyle at all. You know what I mean? So when I ask people for $2 a month, I do that because I don't think it's gonna affect anyone's life. I'm not trying to make anybody poor. So for you guys who are in here all the time that haven't become a member of the channel at $2 a month, is there anything stopping you? Is it something on YouTube that you can't? Like because honestly, I've never tried to sign up a membership on YouTube, so I don't know what the process is. Like, do you got to enter in your credit card? Like, is there something that's holding you back? Like, when I was doing PayPal link, which I don't have any longer, by the way, but when I was doing the PayPal link stuff, it seemed like people were giving me big pieces of money. You know what I mean? It was like, was it easier to do a PayPal link? Because on my end, it looks way simpler to just click on that dollar sign at the bottom, and you can buy other people memberships. You can buy yourself a membership. You know, you can give me a super chat. It just seems simple, not having to jump to another page and do some shit. So this isn't me baiting you, asking for the money, by the way. I'm just literally wondering, as I see a lot of regulars that when I look at my screen, they don't got the little mark beside them. You know, guys that I've made, like the Blue Wrench Crew guys, you know. It's a wonder. If it's a YouTube thing, do you just not want to do it? You figure, hey, Steve has all this fucking gear. He doesn't need the money. A lot of people are under that impression. I've had people say to me, stop begging for money and sell some of your shit. And they miss the whole point of this channel. It's my time and my experience and my entertainment value and my knowledge. You know what I mean? It's got nothing to do about supporting me, but it is my main full-time job for anyone who doesn't know this. So I struggle like everyone else. I have no car. I have no mortgage. You don't see membership options. Um, okay, you're right. That's probably one of the things. So I could swear that somewhere there's just a join. You see, I don't see what you guys are seeing. Boop. Well, that was weird. So what I just saw on my end, it looked like the stream just finished. I was like, what? Did I press something? But then it popped back. So Casanova Music wants to know, can I do a rundown about the sound sub for live stream? My sound sub for live stream is pretty fucking simple. Everything I use plugs like my Euphonia USB-C from the mixer right into my computer, and OBS sees it as a sound device. The AZ, the same thing. The OPUS-QUAD, the same thing. The Prime 4 does not. So when I do that, I have to I gotta fuck around a little bit. Let's go on Loki. So like the Prime 4 as an example, if I was using the Prime 4, I would have to do the RCA. I do one of the I do like the record out of that thing into like the Euphonia and then hook that up. I'd use one of the other things as a sound card essentially. And I'm using a Hypercast microphone. This I'm using this microphone. I have a Shure, not the SMB one, the MV7 or something. It's a great microphone, and I just bought this one for $40 and it lights up. And because I can set it to just not pick up all the way around and just pick up the one side, I kind of like this mic. I think it picks up pretty good. I see a lot of streamers actually use a Hypercast mic. Like, I wouldn't have paid $140 for it. It's worth it. I wouldn't have paid that, but I paid like, I think $30. So for $30, I can't fucking complain. So just a quick recap, because the title is about the tariffs, so we don't get off topic a little bit. From my knowledge and me talking to In Music, the tariffs are not going to affect any of the Denon products, the Newmark, the Rain. you know, the Akai, anything by In Music, they should be good. Based on what I know and where things are coming from when it comes to Pioneer DJ, AlphaTheta, I don't think the tariffs are going to have any effect. But I think there's going to be a lot of lighting. You know, anything made in China, you might see something, but my understanding of tariffs is that, you know what, generally the end user doesn't feel the pitch. It's the manufacturer. Because you got to remember, a lot of this shit made in China, if you buy something made in China that costs, say, $500, the cost to make it is probably like fucking 10, if that even. It's really insanity to think we live in a world full of luxury electronics and everything that we have, and there's a whole slave race of people. Like there's a whole country of slaves, like literally slaves, because they like eat, sleep, shit, work in the same place. You know, even our clothes, like there's cotton factories, man, like textile factories and shit, where like they literally, I have a friend in not North Korea, she's in South Korea, and she has a factory, and in the factory, the people live there. This is a common thing in some of these countries where, you know, you work and live in the exact same place. And you work some fucking crazy hours, so. And you know, fucking kids working, like our whole culture is based on this kind of shit. Anyways, on that note, as you see me stretch out my neck, anyone who's been on the channel, you know. Are we going to get Apple Music support on Denon Engine products? I don't know. Nobody tells me anything, so. I'm going to hold your breath on it. We got support for everyone else. Like, you know, I don't think we're going to get Apple, but I wouldn't have thought we are going to get Amazon when we did. But that kind of tells me why. If we got Amazon, we might not get Apple. You know, I feel like that was probably one of the deals. But I am going to roll here, guys. If you know me and you see me doing this shit, it's the vertical dizziness, because I'm looking at, with progressive glasses, I'm looking at the camera at a certain angle, and I have to do this a lot. And I have neck issues, so things can fuck me up at times. And one Hendrix, not at the moment, but I will definitely, when I start doing my master class, my like live stream master classes, that's a great idea. I probably will set up the SC6000s over here, and we'll do something like that. Okay, that's it. Thanks everyone who popped in. I do appreciate the super chat there from Magic Man. Give Magic Man's always here. Should make Magic Man a moderator at least too. So yeah, no one really did answer me, by the way, about why people aren't joining the channel. I will look and find out more of how you would join during a live stream. And I know people have done it. So there must be a spot somewhere in here to be able to join. I just, on my end, from what I see, I don't see the join button. But I know when you just go to my channel, right there, there should be a spot that says join. There should be a join button. And one Hendrix, let me tell you, for the 6000 M's, right? Number one, in order to do stems, you have to pay for that, right? So you got to pay, you got to be logged into your InMusic account, and then you restart it and everything else, right? So that's part of it. And then, if I remember correctly, it's like, I think it's Shift Hotkey or Shift Slicer. I don't even remember. We're going to lose a light here because I got to unplug. One of my lights is plugged in the front of my Denon player. See if I can... let you guys get a better idea what I'm doing here. Just plugging the stick in the C. Go to my stems. I don't have these things plugged in, by the way. Like, they're not hooked up to sound, so. Yeah, shift hotkey. And then you get the 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 lit up. Yeah, shift hotkey. Now, I gotta say, considering I was just about to get off the stream, and because I'm feeling a little bit fucking dizzy, not to hold a gun to your face or anything, but if that helps you, you know, maybe shoot me a drink, a couple of bucks, become a subscriber. Well, become a no, don't worry about being a subscriber. Become a member. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, the other guys out there that do this shit, nobody would stop the middle of getting ready to hop off their live stream, go over and on the fly give you an answer. That's kind of why I got the channel going, help you guys out. Yes, and that's the other part too, that, you know, when you're in the engine OS, that you drag everything in to that stems thing, right? And then on your player, you know, when you export your shit on the player, you're gonna have a thing that says stems. And when you go in there, all your stems are gonna be there. That's how that goes. Yeah, so all the stems have to be analyzed on the engine OS, like the engine OS on the desktop, right? And if you got a, like, I have an M1 Pro Max, and it's quick. It's quick enough. Like, I wouldn't recommend, you don't need to stem out your whole fucking music collection. That's ridiculous, because it's gonna, I don't know if it triples the size of it. I have to do a video on that as well too to figure that shit out. So, okay, hopefully that helps out. I am gonna roll here because I've been on a little bit longer than I really wanted to be honest. It's been like another hour. I already did like an hour mix today, so that's 2 hours of my day on here. And, you know, like I keep saying, if I was making money, I wouldn't mind my time going into it. But when I'm not seeing the money coming out of it so much, I gotta kind of like, thanks, Norm. No, exactly. You can't do stems just from your thumb drive. You can't, it can't stem it on the player. That's something they wanted to do. That's something they beta tested on the Prime 4 Plus, and it didn't work with a shit. It was like, it's okay, but it didn't work good. So yeah, you have to like export. You could do it on a thumb drive. You just have to prepare your shit on the computer, export your shit to the thumb drive, and then stick your thumb drive in, and you're good to go. Hopefully that makes sense. And at this point, honestly, I didn't realize there's people that still weren't really sure. So once again, you've given me another video idea. I should make a quick video just running people through the process, because I guess, I don't know, I just assumed everybody knew. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. It's easy to do. You know what? Like, how else are you moving your music onto the player? You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me you're just putting it in a folder and plugging it in. You know, really, you should use Engine OS to analyze your shit anyway. So it's no big deal. You're just analyzing it differently. That's all. And you know what? The whole stem thing's a little bit overrated, to be honest. I think if you want to be a stem DJ, your best option, you use DJ Pro, or if you got the SC6000M, DJ Pro doesn't work with the screen, so you use Virtual DJ. And that's my opinion. If you're going to really be hardcore on stems, you're still better off. Virtual DJ allows you to do stems on all the streaming services. You got visuals. You got so much shit you can do with Virtual DJ that doing stems on standalone seems to be like, it works, but if I was going to be hardcore about it, I'd still use a laptop. Anyways, friends, I got to roll. Thanks everyone that popped in here. If you can, become a channel member. I'm going to be putting all kinds of perks together for my members. So it's not like you're just sending me money. I'm going to be giving you shit back. Sample packs and all kinds of cool things and some music playlists and shit. And I'll be making some YouTube videos specifically for the members, so you can get some little tips and tricks from me. And I gotta fucking roll. Dizziness is kicking in. Vertigo time. You know how it is. Fade in the black. See y'all.